Welcome! It's another readathon time, and today's book is Duck on a Tractor by David Shannon. Now, we know David Shannon also wrote the No David books, so this could be really, really good. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day he decided he could ride a bike, so he did. Then he spotted the tractor. I bet I can drive a tractor, he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he can ride a bike, maybe he can drive a tractor. Okay, think about it. Do you think he can drive a tractor? Duck climbed on the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled the metal stick, but nothing happened. Then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out. He pushed it in. Then he turned it, and all of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled, and it began to move. At first it moved very slowly, and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove around the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. Climb on, everybody, shouted Duck. Look at that. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. Woof, said Dog, but he thought we're going for a ride. To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. Moo, said Cow, but what she thought was, this is the silliest thing I've ever done. Pig and Pig took a seat in the back. Oink, said Pig and Pig, but what they thought was, this sure beats walking. Look at that. Look at the cow. You're taking up a lot of space. Then came Chicken, Moose, and Goat. Squawk, said the chicken, but what she thought was, last one on is a rotten egg. Squeak, said Mouse, but what she thought was, I can see everything from up here. Ah, said the Goat, but what he thought was, I'm hungry. Does this garbage dump have a drive-through window? Look at all of them, all over. Next up were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped up gracefully on that tractor. Horse, not so much. Meow, said Cat, but what she thought was, I was going to take a nap, but this should be very interesting. Nay, said the Horse, but what he thought was, I think I'd rather walk. There they are. I don't think that all fit on that tractor. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. Bah, says Sheep, but what she thought was, this is too dangerous. Get on, Sheep, everyone shouted, but Sheep wouldn't budge, so Duck started driving away without her. Wait, said Sheep, don't leave me here all alone. She ran after the tractor and took a flying leap. Quacks, yelled Duck, but what he thought was, woohoo! There they are. Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out onto the main road, and before long they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the big window. Boy, that'd be a pretty big sight to see if you were sitting there eating lunch. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. Did you ever, Grandma gasped, but what she thought was, a duck on a tractor? That's impossible. That's totally awesome, Edison shouted, but what he thought was, no one's going to believe this. Marcine, the waitress, looked up from her pad and noticed Cat. For heavens to Betsy, she exclaimed, but what she thought was, I like cats. Deputy Bob blubbered, if that don't beat all. But what he thought was, how am I going to explain this to the sheriff? There they're all looking like, oh my gosh. A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things. But what he thought was, oh no, not again. Holy cow, hollered Manny the cook. But what he thought was, holy cow. Manny usually said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he sputtered. But what he thought was, those pigs are even fatter than I am. Corky just whistled, but what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that, she exclaimed. But what she thought was, I can't see a thing without my glasses. Farmer Odell observed, "That's a dang nice tractor." But what he thought was, "Hey, that's my tractor." He decided he'd better go after it and ran out the door. Everyone else ran out and chased after him. There they are. They're all trying to chase down the tractor. By this time, Duck had turned onto the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again, but nothing happened. "I don't know much about spelling," said Dog, "but I think that E means it's the end of our ride." Sheep cleared her throat. "You know," she said, "I think we might get in trouble for this." "Let's get out of here," yelled Doug, just as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. Uh-oh, E, out of gas. It's empty. Oh, now they're all trying to look at it and decide what to do. Everyone burst out laughing. "Nah," they said, "it couldn't have been." "That was an optical illusion," exclaimed Otis. "Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident." "I guess that explains it," Deputy Bob agreed. Then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunch. They did not want to believe what they saw. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, and a duck on a tractor. The end. Thank you for joining me again for another story, and have a good day.